introduction is needed, but I'd like to introduce you to Reverend Jesse Jackson.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson was a civil rights leader and icon for decades. He was a major contributor to the civil rights movement and helped it accomplish many of its goals. Jackson even ran for president in 1984 and 1988.
The only time that we win is when we come together.
He was with Martin Luther King Jr. when King was assassinated at a Memphis hotel in 1968. He helped carry King's mission forward.
I really can't think of any single individual who's had more influence after Dr. King's tenure here than Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Until Barack Obama's election in 2008, Jackson was the most successful black candidate for U.S. president.
He really did help bring the awareness of the black political struggle forward. And I don't think that we can underestimate the impact of him, just the act of running. He wasn't fully successful, but I don't know if that mattered, right? That he showed that there's a need for it, that he really did lay the groundwork for Barack Obama to be a viable candidate.
Jackson attended President Barack Obama's election celebration in 2008 and was clearly moved. Jackson was also influential in international diplomacy. Jackson received the Medal of Freedom in 2000, the highest U.S. civilian honor.
It's hard to imagine how we could have come as far as we have without the creative power, the keen intellect, the loving heart, and the relentless passion of Jesse Louis Jackson.
Wherever you went, where people needed a lift, Jesse Jackson was there to give it to them. And that's his greatest contribution that I can think of.
In recent years, he attended rallies for Black Americans killed by police. He even attended some of their funerals. Jackson also joined Ahmaud Arbery's parents in court for the trial of the 3 white men charged with murdering their son.
Dr. King would be so proud of you today.
Yes.
Here you stand in the cold, multiracial, multicultural, employed, unemployed, because justice transcends race.
It's so hard to say he made it possible for this person and this person and this person, because in a real way, he's made it possible for so many of us.
Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Newsmaker series. It's a tribute to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. on our TV network. And today I'm joined with some phenomenal women. We've had an opportunity to really lean in today, and that's Dr. Donna Christensen and, of course, Dr. Karen Green. I had the pleasure and the honor to work closely with Reverend Jesse Jackson when I worked for Chuck Schumer. He invited me to Rainbow Push to be a speaker. He always encouraged and inspired young people to just scale. And so we've truly lost a giant. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I was able to travel to conferences and be on panels and be uplifted with all that he did. And so I just want to kick it off with that. And I want to pass it to the Honorable Donna Christensen, because I know she also had a relationship and was able to do some wonderful things. And Donna, I'm so happy to see you today.
We have to get together when I'm in DC. Are you in DC?
I'm in New York, but I can come to DC. I do some DC travel as well.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to remember when I first met Jesse, but I suspect it was at Resurrection City, the Poor People's Campaign.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was just a cursory passing. You know, he walked around, shook everybody's hand, and
That's right.
I should have been studying for my boards, but I was working in the medical van there, and but of course I followed him on TV, read about him. admired him. And so when he decided to run for president, I was his Virgin Islands campaign chair.
Nice.
And of course, I didn't have to think about it twice, because my first foray into presidential politics was when Shirley Chisholm was running in 72.
Yes.
I was just in my residency, but when I saw that, and I knew the Virgin Islanders, the old timers who were there, might have voted for Scoop Jackson, and I sent them a telegram. I think that was the only way I could say, "Don't embarrass the Virgin Islands." Vote for Chisholm. So there was no question that I was going to be a Jackson delegate and be his campaign chair here. And so I was on his campaign in 84 and 88.
Wow.
And I'll come back because I'll tell you some of the stories.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I want to kick it off now to Dr. Karen Green. Dr. Green, talk to us. You're on mute.
It takes the death of an icon to bring us back together. I haven't seen you both in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Less than Terry, but here we are celebrating true icon of our legacy, our Black legacy.
Yes.
I had the privilege of meeting my brother 4 times in a capacity of advocacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see him as one who, you know, going back to 84, 88, I was in my island home of Jamaica when I saw this Black man wanting to be president of these United States.
Wow.
Not knowing at the time that I was going to become a U.S. citizen in the U.S., but for me, it was historic. You know, after watching where our sister Shirley Chisholm almost, you know, stepped out to do it, it was momentous. And then, of course, the civil rights fight the struggle he did of supporting other candidates, you know, at the time. For me, that's my mother seeing us on TV and wanting to jump in. but yes, it was truly a time for us. You know, I can recall when the times we met him here in the state of Florida was always to try and increase the voter turnout.
That's right.
To make sure that Black people were voting. He was always there to galvanize by faith. As a faith leader here in the state of Florida, he would, you know, souls to the polls was significant to him.
Mm-hmm.
And as he did dawn up in 84 and 88, he raised the electorate for Black people in the past because it was so hopeful. You know, and one of the things I remember most about him, there are 2 images I can never forget. It was that picture of him when our first president, Black President Barack Obama, was sworn in. And I remember seeing the tears rolling down his eyes.
Yes.
As a woman who was born in an immigrant from Jamaica, as you all know, the struggle of civil rights and the freedoms that came from the fight.
That's
Folks like our sister Shirley Chisholm, who had a Caribbean origin, or brother Harry Belafonte, or Sidney Poitier, and of course the trend of Marcus Garvey was something I know that our brother really was inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, we'll continue the conversation, but for me, it was one of the times I remember seeing him, I couldn't believe I was standing next to this icon, this man who, when in the 80s, when at the time, you know, our brother was still, apartheidism was live, and he was a part of that push to free Mandela. So it was, for me, it was surreal, you know, but we'll talk more. There's so much to talk about.
It really is. It really is, because he did so much. You know, he did so much. He, like you said, he was a civil rights giant. He was the founder of Rainbow Push. You know, he was a leader. He encouraged, he inspired, he got out the vote. He didn't just talk about it. He was in the streets as well.
Absolutely.
You know,
and always insisted that when he would talk to the Black Caucus, he'd tell us, sometimes it was a nice and easy conversation. Other times he was really pushing us to do more. But yeah, he would always say, "You're all on the inside, but we need some street heat also."
Right. He would bring it to the
inside and street heat to get things done.
That's right. That's right. He expanded the voter registration, as you spoke about it, Dr. Karen. He was a champion for economic development. And, the thing that I love most is he had a lot of young people around him. So he was building legacy as he went along. He wasn't just the leader. He was grooming others, and I include myself in that, grooming us so we can get up and do the things that we needed to do. The economic development piece was huge, right?
Yes.
And it still is, and so I look at all that he did and I'm encouraged by it. I really, really am encouraged by it. And I hear your stories and how we all knew him on very different levels. And we all benefited from everything he did. He had the unmitigated tenacity to carry Dr. Martin Luther King's dream forward, right? He was in the boardrooms. He was in the back rooms. He was in the foreground. He was in anything that he needed to do. He made sure that we were able to carry that dream forward. And that in itself was so powerful. And again, Karen, seeing him cry because it was a dream realized. He was there to witness the first Black president of the United States of America. They brought
part of his legacy.
It is. It is a part of his legacy. And so that was a very, very powerful moment. Donna, talk to us a little bit more about, the things that you were able to accomplish. Like you said, he was pushing you a little bit, but he was also telling you that we needed those streets. We needed to be in the streets.
Right. I also went with him to Wall Street at least once, I think, for one of his Wall Street meetings, because he had that Wall Street project when you talked about the economics, because he realized that equity had to be everywhere, and particularly in the economic arena.
That's right.
I also, like you did, Terry, I spoke at Rainbow Push in Chicago one year. I was on a panel, I think. But yeah, so I was able to do some of that. When we worked on the campaign, and we got to the convention, actually, I was supposed to speak from the floor on behalf of the campaign. This is in 2019.
Wow.
And, UDC, the University of the District of Columbia, was honoring him. And that's my granddaughter. We had picked her up from school. She's in her school uniform. Yeah, and her mother was taking the picture, but they were honoring him at UDC in 2019. That's that picture. And but we were, the Puerto Rico delegate and I and Jesse's team put together I keep showing these pictures. We put together, I'll come back to the picture. We put together a presentation based on self-determination for the territories.
Yes.
And I was backstage, almost ready, a couple of people before me to speak, to go on, when they pulled me from the back. Yeah, and said, you can't go on. It was a big deal, especially around my delegation. But the problem was, again, the Israel and Palestine thing, and self-determination were two words that you just were not supposed to ever utter. And so that was 88. The picture that you just saw, I'm sorry, that was in 84. The picture that you just saw was when he visited the Virgin Islands after Hurricane Hugo.
Wow.
When that hurricane hit, it was devastating. It looked like a bomb had hit St. Croix and St. Thomas, but St. Croix got hit more in Hugo. And we had no communication, no way to communicate initially, but the folks, some of the white population had ham radios, and they were sending out messages about Blacks, roaming the streets with guns and all. Creating all kinds of stories that caused then President Herbert Walker Bush to consider putting us under martial law. And when I heard that, I reached out to see Dolores Tucker, who was the chair of the DNC Black Caucus, and asked if she could get Jesse to come down, because I don't know what I thought that would do, but I wanted him to come. And as he has always told us, we are somebody.
That's right.
To make sure that President Herbert Walker Bush knew we were people too, and that I think his being here also kind of lifted our spirits because they were really low at that point. And you see that Cicely Tyson came with him.
You know, that I think that is powerful, right? Because we had the benefit of having a leader that came out and inspired and encouraged us and reminded us, you know, that we are somebody, and wasn't afraid to go where he needed to go to uplift others. And that's powerful. And it's even powerful now. People are looking for something more to believe in. They're looking to be encouraged and inspired. And I mean, this tribute to him is so important because he touched our lives in so many ways. And Dr. Karen, you said it. Some of us, you know, don't even realize the true impact of everything that he was doing, but it touched us and it changed us. It changed us and it changed how people view us. Because
you know, Karen, you know, one of the things I think we need to remember too is that Jesse Jackson was also one of the founders of the D&I initiatives. He was truly an organized labor representative.
That's right.
He fought for equity in the workforce. If you can recall, Donna, when in 1980 in the Chicago, where they had the fire workers union needed that representation. They called for him. He was there with that equity of the fire workers in Chicago. He was also there for equity for women. He was a woman fighter. He stood up for the same civil rights initiatives for the LGBTQ community. The Rainbow Initiative was a real part of his legacy. I think, you know, as the foundation of faith that he carried, it wasn't just a Martin Luther continuance. It really was a part of the struggle of Black people. It was the hope that he shared. That was his ability to inspire those. That faith and hope was always going to be entwined in how we were able to galvanize our base. So there's so much to talk about him. I had the benefit of seeing him speak to a group of not just young women, but young Black men who saw him in Jacksonville and in Miami. Just here's this brother who had literally been there the day when Martin Luther was killed. And the stories he told of this experience, and yet he continued.
That's right.
You know, so I really think this conversation is more meaningful than we can even express. I mean, those of us who've touched him, walked beside him.
That's right.
But I'm so honored to be here with you both because not many of us could say we were standing in the space.
That's right. That's right. One of the things that I remember that stuck out to me was when I had a chance to speak at a luncheon. And at that luncheon, he had one of the civil rights leaders, he had Bill Clinton, and he had me. And I'm like, me? And Mary were the artists that were singing in background. It just stood out so powerfully to me. And I'm in the room and I'm sitting next to all of these leaders. I'm at the table with them and I'm looking around. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, that moment, that imposter syndrome. How did I get here? I'm not supposed to.
Right.
Right. But he knew that. He put us in places that we were able to do the things that we needed to do. He wasn't afraid to tap you. He wasn't afraid to mentor you. He wasn't afraid to encourage you. And so that, you know, when I think about that, I still put a big smile on my face because here I am with these giants, right? They were giants to me. I was working for Cindy Schumer. I was his deputy state director, but these were giants. Yes. And so that really, really stood out to me. Being a part of Rainbow Push and Wall Street and those projects, they were powerful. And I met great networks. I still have some of those friends today. But that luncheon was a game changer for me. So when I go to events, I don't sit in the back of the room. Right. I don't care what event I'm at. I'll go to the front of the room and I take my seat. You could only ask me to move. 9 times out of 10, they don't ask you to move.
Well, I can truly say that his inspiration to me of telling me that I acted like a national hero from my birthland, Jamaica. Wow. I thought he was talking about Nanny, but the truth is his tap of saying you were acting like you were walking with the spirit of Marcus Garvey continues to this day. That's so right. We were inspired for sure.
We were. Hi, Dr. Grant. I see, Grant, that you joined us. How are you?
No, I'm doing just fine. I am here at the Live Museum right now. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. We're at the the Great Plains Black African Museum in Omaha, Nebraska. And I wanted to make sure that our Virgin Islanders knew that we have plenty of melanin people here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot, they're very proud. They like the fact they see a lot of me when I go down to the Virgin Islands, and then I hear them in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm actually doing a book signing here today, but it's Black History Month. It is a great time. You're talking about a civil rights leader who just left us, and we're all remembering him for, I mean, I still can't believe it after all these years that he took the torch from Dr. King at a young age and kept it burning for so long. And a lot of people just don't remember that we ran for office in 1984. And here's a fun fact you might not know, that right here in Omaha, Nebraska, his campaign manager was born here. He actually worked with him.
Really?
His name is Preston Jr. It's a small world. And he was on my podcast just this past week talking about his relationship with Jesse Jackson and what he brought to the table and everything that he means to America, what he means to us. But I want to let you Virgin Islanders know that we have just as many Black people here that you have on your island. Right.
Well, I'm New York.
I had one of the people who ran the Health Brain Trust for me was from Nebraska.
Wow. Okay.
When he told us, Nebraska, really? You know? So
well,
I got
history. Like today, you look behind me. You see that? That's Malcolm X behind me.
Malcolm X.
Well, Malcolm X was born here in Omaha, Nebraska. Little known fact. And today was actually the day that he was unfortunately assassinated on February 1st. There's a great deal of history here. I don't know if you can see all of that.
I'm seeing.
Malcolm X and
Obama, President
Martin
Obama.
King, they all visited here at least more than once, twice. At one point in time, Omaha, Nebraska was a bustling community. We have 400 some businesses on our strip. But just like a lot of things that happened in the 60s, it erupted in riot after Martin Luther King got shot, but it never really came back to prominence as it was back then. But I do think we're on a resurgence right now. And as you see right now, I'm just going to turn the camera just a little bit so you see what's happening here.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, this is an intergenerational event too. I see all types of ages.
Yeah, they're talking about some of the great football players that came out of here. If you've heard of Gail Sayers, Tiny Rogers, Bob Boozer. There's just a lot of history here, and somewhat like in the Virgin Islands, we don't get a lot of your history, coming out of our books, not realizing that you are a Black-run government, that you have your own governor, your own senators, and your territory. But this is something we want to get out into the community, especially in mainland U.S., that this is a destination and an opportunity for us to be us and to be able to have business development, business tourism, and to have a destination, not just in the Caribbean islands itself, but in, I call the indigenous African Caribbean experience.
You know, just this morning, somebody was saying something about the 4 computers that they have to go and look at for 435 people. To date, they will never count the people from the territories in DC.
Wow.
And if you listen to anyone talk about governors, they talk about Wes Morris as though he's the only black
governor. No, and we have you have a Black governor, and we had the opportunity to bring him here to New York. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. A little technical difficulties. All right, we're gonna keep it going then.
Okay.
So yeah, they always talk about Wes Morris as if he's the only Black governor, and we had an opportunity, Karen, and Anthony. We were able to.
Thank you very much. Tonight I stand proudly in support of the next president of the United States, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Let me also congratulate Bernie Sanders for energizing this campaign. She with ideas and hope. The burn must never grow cold. Paul Tillich once said, where hate abounds, love must abound even more. Where fear abounds, hope must abound even more. In this stormy season of violent campaign rhetoric, we're called to be steady in the face of the whirlwind. There's a tug of war for America's soul. We have a clear choice. Take down walls of separation, build bridges of hope and unity. Love must trump ignorance and fear and hatred and violence. We love under one big tent for all, including none must be left behind. We've learned to survive apart, we must now learn to live together as brothers and sisters. I met Hillary decades ago in the Delta of Arkansas, delivering legal protection for poor people in the Delta of that region. We, and her, trusted and tested and tried. Hillary can be trusted to appoint a fast Supreme Court, a skilled administrator, including a man of faith like Senator Tom Kaine. Can be trusted to ban assault weapons, turning our communities into killing fields. With 2,300 shot in Chicago this year, nearly 250 killed this year alone. Ban these assault weapons now. She can be trusted to honor the most progressive platform our party has ever had. She will never forget our pain. She will never forget us. Nationally, there are 45 million people still illiterate, more blacks incarcerated and graduating from college. They're scarred. There must be a change. Hillary understands the historic dimension of the agony, hope, and promise of Black Lives Matter. She knows our scars and our suffering, from Trayvon Martin to Michael Brown to Alton Sterling and far too many others. The shootings of young black men must stop. And we deeply regret the killing of police officers with powerful assault weapons. They resonate deep in us. So those police should be alive today. Ban assault weapons now. We must choose reconciliation over retaliation and revenge today. And so we can trust Hillary not to insult our Hispanic neighbors. We share 2,000 miles of border with Mexico. They are our neighbors, our eternal neighbors. We trade more with Mexico than we do with China and Japan every day. Stop insulting Hispanics. Stop insulting Muslims now. We can trust her not to mass deport 15 million people and disrupt our families now. To expand African trade and development. She'll support historic black colleges, where 42% of our black engineers come from, and teachers and lawyers. She'll grant in the lineage of Mr. President Obama more jobs. He came to office, we had lost 800,000 jobs. We have not lost a single job, a single month since Barack has been president. She'll sustain that drive and keep the hope alive. We've never lost a battle that we fought, and never won a battle unless we fought. Their journey began in 1984 and 88. We built the winning coalition, the Rainbow Coalition, registering and empowering millions of voters. This is a new day. Someone has to win and lose in the primary. Now we're beyond the primary. Now it is Super Bowl time. It's November 8th. It's Super Bowl time. It's another day. My words rang true in 84 and they do today. If blacks register and vote in great numbers, progressive whites win. It's the only way they win. If blacks and Hispanics vote in great numbers, women win. When women win, children win. When women and children win, mothers win. We must all come together and win and fight for hope and go forward by hope and not backwards by fear. This land is our land. When we all come together, red and yellow, brown, black and white, we're precious at God's sight. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. I know it gets dark sometime, but the morning cometh. The Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? Don't let opposition break your spirit. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. The scripture says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear their prayer and forgive their sins and heal their land. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's healing. Louder. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time. Keep hope alive. God bless you.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, I forgot just how powerful that was. You
Wow.
know, he framed the election as a continuation of the civil rights.
Terry.
Wow, that
And
was powerful.
that I have to step in at this point for a few
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
I know that yourself, Donna and Terry, we were all there at
That's
that
right.
convention in 20.
That's right.
We had that was historic in so many ways
Yeah.
because it was a unified convention.
That's
At
right.
the end of everything, we were able to have a consensus. I served as a whip, as you know, and
Yeah.
it was historic in so many ways.
That's
I
right.
also want to take the opportunity, as the only immigrant on this call today, one who was born in another island country of the Caribbean, and became one who served in this role of wanting to protect our democracy.
Mhm.
In all honesty, Jesse Jackson stood for immigrants. In that speech just now, recognizing the border
That's
of the
right.
Mexicans, recognizing the third border of the Caribbean region, if there was ever a time for us to look at where we are in unison for diversity appreciation and for building, listen, that was an awesome reminder
That's right.
of what it is we have been standing up in this country for. Donna, I know I was wanting to bring some history back as well. There was Grant mentioned something historic. If my mind tells me right on my record, weren't you the first person to take Jesse Jackson to the Virgin Islands?
I'm pretty sure I was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was. Yeah.
I think so. I think he was there during your congressional term.
He actually, the first time was after Hurricane Hugo in '89.
Yeah, you showed us.
But I was not even. I probably wasn't even thinking about running for Congress at that point. You know?
Okay.
I'm sure I wasn't in the middle of the disaster that Hugo was, but yeah, I was just practicing medicine and doing some health administration stuff.
Did he inspire?
We needed him to come. We needed him to come.
Yes.
And some people think we were under Marshall. Soldiers came in, but we needed help. We needed all kinds of help, and they came and they helped. So I don't think we were actually put under martial law, but that was my intention, to try to not have that happen.
Right.
The last
where you guys are talking about is so ironic that a lot of things that in every community there's some commonality. When you talk about martial law and unrest and things like that, and unfortunately in the U.S., you can see it by the racial lines a lot. These are explosive, and unfortunately here we are in 2026, and we're also near a boiling point. And I don't. It's just. You're hard pressed to say, well, what is the true agenda here, and where do we need to draw the line? Number one, and say like no more. This is where it's at. This is who we are. We deserve our place in the sun, no matter what others may. I think that hopefully is in the minority, but sometimes it's hard to see because of certain elections have put certain people in power to do certain things. They let you wonder. Is it one side of the ball about our true creed? Are we one nation under God, individual? And then you have another, it's like it's all about power and control. So I wonder what that true voice of America will come through here shortly.
We should find out very soon.
Exactly.
Find out very soon with this coming election. The haters have money. And unfortunately, they're running house.
They're controlling the narrative. They're controlling the narrative.
Yeah. So we're going to hear from them. But I pray and I trust and I hope that there are more of us than there are of them.
Well, I
think we're reminded today. I think that what we just saw reminded us. It's healing time. It's hope time, right? It's healing time. It's hope time. And he said it over and over again. But I think the importance of it was he reminded, he continued really emphasize the protections, right? So as we say, protection of immigrants, protection of mothers, protection of women, protections. And these are all things that we're seeing being eroded right now, right, Dr. Donna? We're seeing this happen right now. And I think it's important for us to be reminded of that. So like Dr. Karen said, this was a timely message for us to be reminded of, because like you said, Grant, the time is now. We don't have to wait for someone to come in and save us. Dr. Donna put it right into perspective. We have to come. We have to vote. Voting is important, and he was at the DNC because he wanted to remind us that we had power.
The fight was not over. It's not over. I know I was lulled into that in the 70s and 80s, and I thought, oh, right, civil rights happened. Everybody's on an equal playing ground. And then I was rudely awakened by a younger person, a millennium, and said, what are you talking about? It's worse than it was then. I'm like, really? And it really brought me up to speed
with what was going on
about what is really happening. But that narrative is very old. But we have to, and that's where I see my place in. Dr. King did what he can do. Reverend Jackson has done what he can do. We've seen Obama can do what he can do. But I still believe in the will of the people.
That's right.
The people have to take that baton and not just invest in one person, but as a group that we can then have change.
Right. And I think it's important for us to remember in his message, this was a contentious race, right? But he reminded us to stay united. That's over now. Let's be united. I mean, we were there. There was supposed to be some other things that went on that floor that didn't happen as a result of it. So just hearing him say it again kind of really touched me in a way that I'm like, listen, we can do this. We got this. We can hear
I think
we need to be playing a lot of his speeches over and over again because they're very relevant today. Forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, Donna, I was about to say too that, of all the times, one of the things we're facing right now in the electorate is voting rights. And he was an advocate for voter protection.
Absolutely.
The civil liberty of voting. This is where we are right now. And to your point, it's not just the money they have. They have been registering voters 4 times to or 1. It's like 4 to 1, particularly here in the state of Florida. That's the statistic that they're working with. And I'm just saying the inspiration of remembering the Voting Rights Act.
That's right.
The remembrance of how people died unable to vote and what the qualifications were for even having women vote. We need to remind folks, and this is where I think the emphasis needs to be now to even secure this, Look at what's happening in Georgia. So to the point where he fought with Martin there in Atlanta, in Georgia, where he was in the South making those moves. I think it's an opportunity for us to continue to echo the importance to the Supreme. Look at what happened in the Supreme Court yesterday, and I'm not going political here, but I know what it feels like to have fought for something that he did during the civil rights movement. Voting right protection and voters' rights was as important as civil rights.
That's right.
Right. I was being interviewed by one of our local papers, and they were saying, "Well, who's going to be the leader now? Who do we have a leader?" And I'm saying, all of us at this point need to be leaders. All of us need to be leaders, and the very fact of honoring Jesse Jackson, if we're going to honor him, we're going to get people out to vote.
Agreed.
That's right. That's right.
And protect them as they go to vote.
That's
right. Big point.
Yeah.
I will chime in on that, and not even just the vote. Vote you have to do, but every day we have to be visible, meaning being who you are and not accepting opinion of others as that is law, because it isn't. It is okay to love yourself. Is it okay to be who you are? It doesn't matter if they take pictures down on somebody else's museum wall. It doesn't stain your history. History is what it is. If you refuse to want to look at it, that is up to you. But we have to keep the narrative and the truth. And that's why we're sitting right here at the Great Plains Black Museum, because if we don't honor our truth and tell the story, I'm telling the story right here in Omaha, Nebraska about the United States Virgin Islands that we don't know about because it's not in our curriculum in the public school system to talk about territories. But here we have a Black-led government that has a lot of different freedoms that every Black child should know this, and they don't. So that narrative has to be stronger. We're going to talk about these things, and we've got to do things at a grassroots effort. I think that's one of the ways, if you really look at the civil rights era, they were doing it very grassroots. It's very small, it grew. And we can take that same formula and say, by grassroots, pick people up, give them some hope, right? And show them that I'm here. And we have a way forward because we have a bond of love that will never be broken, especially by hate.
That's right. And it's important for us to start with our young people as well, like teaching them very young that they're from kings and queens and helping them to understand our history, write their narrative. You know, there's so many ways now. I have custody of my great nephew. He's 7. I'm helping him write books about history, about himself. I'm helping him see himself in the pages so that he can be the greatest, that he needs to be, right? But we have to take that. They're talking about, well, education, we're not going to have funding. We're going to close this down, close that. It's our responsibility to educate our children. It's our responsibility to tell them their history. It's our responsibility to leave a legacy for them so that they're able to do the things that they need to do. And it's up to each and every one of us on this TV show right now. And we're doing it. We're doing it every single day. And Reverend Jesse Jackson just reminded us that
I think one of his greatest legacies to me was his ability to organize.
Oh yeah, organizing.
And it wasn't just organizational maneuvering; it was the advocacy of identifying the different interests and coalitions. He built those coalitions by advocacy. And I think one of the things that you all know has long been my maneuver, my way of doing things, is that we need to organize. We need to organize around the things that matter. Organizational attributes and our faith is what brought Black people together.
Absolutely.
I know the civil rights movement, and I think that's where we need to start again.
Absolutely. I'm going to give each of us a few minutes. We only got 5 minutes before I know the time is gone. We only got 5 minutes. So let's I want to give everybody, I'm going to start with Donna and give everybody their closing remarks. If you can, this was a fabulous trip. I know it was.
We talk about all the things that Jesse kept repeating for us. Keep hope alive. And we look at the fact that his running was a precursor and paved the road for Obama. And we saw what his reaction was. But he started with keep hope alive. And you can take it right up to Obama, where he spoke about the audacity of hope.
That's right.
And our hope needs to be audacious right now. So we're going to keep hope alive. We're going to make it as audacious as possible. We're going to walk, like he said in another speech, hold your head up and put your chest out, and we're going to walk with hope audaciously.
Thank you, Donna. Dr. Karen.
I concur with everything Donna said. I think right now, as I said before, his legacy to me is to organize. It is to organize and move to the areas of which what he stood for. Right now we need to protect voting rights. We need to, the country, America and the world right now, immigrants are not feeling as if they belong. And from a Christian principle, the world is God's world, and we're a brother's keeper. And so the position I have today is the legacy of Dr. Jackson is really unity, diversity, and inclusion. It is about organizing for the good of the people, and it's about organizing for God's grace. And so I'm empowered today to remember him and to keep that going. The interest he had, women, children, all the areas, all of us. Quite frankly, as an immigrant, I will continue in the legacy of making sure that each person is included going forward.
That's right. Inclusion. Grant.
I want to start out by what I really, really remember about Reverend Jackson, especially when I was a young man. He would say, I am somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I am somebody. And that resonated with me so much. No matter what was going on in the external world, no matter what was happening, it gave me a belief in myself, a love of myself, a love of my community, and it showed me what the possibilities can be if we come together. Because in 1984, I did not see anyone being able to run for president and be a force, right? He was running against people like Ronald Reagan, which in Republican view, that was
audacity, right, Donna?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but he got votes. I mean, he was there. He came back in '88. And to your point, because of that platform, we began to understand, well, maybe one day, we could be represented by a Black president. Obama came and he was, just to defend his orator. But for me, myself, seeing that, especially going through things like the Million Man March, right? And saying, okay, when we come together, let's bond ourselves and have a better narrative. I myself, I can only do what I can do. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to build a correlation between the Midwest and the U.S. Virgin Islands and Miami, Florida. That is my charge at this point. I've got business tourism that right here as we speak. When I talked about Preston Love, he is the chairman for business tourism in Omaha, Nebraska, and can begin building that bridge between the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now we're bringing the agricultural world to St. Croix, the technology world, the finance world. One of the richest men in the world lives here. His name is Warren Buffett. There's a lot of resources that we can then help through what I call SETI case. That's what Kalu Network is running on with St. Croix Economic Development Initiative.
Now, one more minute. We're almost closing. Yeah.
So
what I mean, that's right. Let's make it happen. So we got the audacity, we got hope, right? We got organizing, unity, right? We're bringing it all together, organizing again, unity, all of the different things that we have, the resources, our network, bringing it all to bear. We are honoring tonight. We honored somebody that just refused. He refused to accept limits. And that's what we're going to do. He turned pain into power, right? And he protested into policy. He taught us that faith must move our feet. He reminded America that democracy works best when everyone participates. He challenged systems but never surrendered. He built coalitions before it was popular, Dr. Karen. He opened doors so that others could walk through them. His voice still echoes, keep hope alive. And I am somebody. Our responsibility
I am somebody.
But to continue to work. So let this guide us, let justice move us, and let courage defend us. Thank you so very much for allowing me.
Thank you.
This was truly an honor and a pleasure and a labor of love. I hope you guys have a super amazing day on purpose. And this was truly a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to our TV network, your ultimate destination for all things exciting and essential. From mouth-watering food to the latest in fashion, health, education, music, movies, and news, plus thrilling sports and breathtaking travel. Our TV network brings it all to you. Tune in today and experience the best of every world. All in one place, rtv.network.